All right, Gary, what about out west, where Luka Doncic and the Mavs very much in command of the Western Conference Finals, coming into Game 3 tonight in Dallas, up 2-0 after taking the first two in Minnesota. And teams to win the first two games of a conference finals on the road have a 10-0 series record all time. And Luka's a big reason why, averaging just better than 32 points and 10 dimes so far in this series. He's the first player since John Havlicek with his 68 Celts to average at least 30 and 10 through the first two games of a conference final. Meanwhile, struggle city for Minnesota Stars. Ant-Man shooting just 33% in the series. Karl Anthony Towns is at 28%. They were a combined 9 for 33 in Game 2. Malika Andrews and company, the Countdown crew, looking ahead now to Game 3.
And now we turn the page to Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals with Stephen A. Smith, Chris Paul, Michael Wilbon, Bob Myers. I'm Malika Andrews. This was just an emotionally exhausting loss, I have to imagine, for Minnesota, losing by just 1 point. How do they go into Dallas now and try to steal one, Chris?
It's tough. It's going to be tough. It's a tough environment to go into Dallas anyway, but going down 0-2, Dallas is going to feel that energy, the crowd, everybody coming in there knowing that if they win this Game 3, the series can pretty much be over.
There's two things that the Minnesota Timberwolves should be hoping for. Number one, the dynamic duo that is Ant-Man and Karl Anthony Towns getting outscored by 44 points by the two Dallas Mavericks superstars in this series thus far. They're going to play better. They need to play better. They have to understand that. That's number one they should be hoping for. Number two, just hope Dallas Cowboys are in the audience. They bring bad luck all the time.
That's all you got to do.
He had to go there.
Already there.
Just hope the Cowboys.
What are we doing?
Just hope the Cowboys are in the audience.
Wilbon, what is happening? We slipped into an episode first. How about this? How about if the Minnesota Timberwolves make better decisions?
Right.
Okay? How about having Mike Conley on the floor when he needs to be on the floor? Yeah. How about having Karl Anthony Towns on the floor and not on the bench for about the final 9 minutes of the game? How about not letting Rudy Gobert have to go out and guard a guy who's saying, are you kidding me? You switched on to me? How about better decision-making? Because the Timberwolves in 2 games are like 0 for 8 in the last 4 minutes of each game.
Yeah. Well, bad news is, real bad news, they lost 2 games at home, which is going to be hard to recover from. Good news is it was by a total of 4 points. So it's right there. I felt like, I don't know what you guys think, but I thought Minnesota, for being at home, played tight. And usually that when you're at home, you're relaxed, you feel good, you get the confidence of the crowd. But I thought, especially the last quarter of both games, Dallas looked like they felt good. The shot quality, the possessions, and Minnesota just couldn't get into anything. And I don't know if that's the youth. But maybe on the road, maybe Minnesota says, we're not supposed to win. Let's just go play.
Well, listen, I think the thing that's going to work against Minnesota, arguably anyway, is that you did it last series where you beat the defending champions 3 games on their home court, games 1, 2, and 7. Right. Can you duplicate that? That's a hard ask, number one. But at the end of the day, you just have to respond. CP3, this is about stars at this point in time in the season. The stars have to show up.
Yep, and Dallas, they have to feel good about themselves right now. Going home, having a chance to go up 3-0. I think Minnesota has to come into the game and just play free. Just play free. Dallas, they have closers. They have Luka. They have Kyrie. It's going to be a lot on Anthony Edwards and those guys, but they got to come bring it for this game to have a chance.
Well, I can tell you this. Entering this year, there have been 10 teams that won the first 2 games of the conference finals on the road. All of them went on to win those series. We'll see if that trend continues.
All right, Malika, thank you. Hey, after winning the first 2 games as underdogs, Dallas now finding itself a 2.5-point favorite for Game 3. It's a low total, though, 207.5 points. First 2 games of the series went over that number, but you compare it to the Eastern Conference, where the finals of that series, Game 4, 15 points higher.
ESPN.